Hey, Jason, welcome. Yes, this is SHIB. We are talking about the SHIB Worldwide platform tonight. We did not sell 21,000 tickets the last 24 hours, so therefore this turns into an educational platform. So if you can bear with me, we're going to share the links, get everybody excited. We'll dance right into this massive opportunity. Thank you. Give me a second. We'll get started as soon as humanly possible. Hey, everybody, let's get this show started. Interesting.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
shout out to everybody. Big shout out to you, Jason. Big shout out to Jason M. Big shout out to Ethan M. Big shout out to everybody. Thank you for coming to another edition of the live 50-50 raffle draw. As you may have already noticed, we do not have enough tickets sold to host a 50-50 event at this time, but we do have as an educational platform that we're getting ready to roll out as soon as humanly possible with some information that is coming down the pipe. Bloop, 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 bloop. And the information that's coming down the pipe is that we are in a sell-off mode. We have watched the cryptocurrencies all sell off today, probably from the conditions of what's going on around the world. NVIDIA is selling off. We have, if you haven't been aware of the news lately, we've had two airlines that have gone down. One of them was an emergency airline in the U.S. So, yeah, without further ado, that's what's causing. Well, that's not what's causing the markets to go down, but that's what's causing certain uncertainty in the marketplace as everybody tries to deal with what is actually happening around the world. Yeah, so NVIDIA going down has a huge impact on the U.S. economy. For technology, and then anything that deals with technology also falls on us in crypto, which is, in my opinion, ridiculous. But anyway, we have 162 trillion ceiling building, and you can guess who that is that's causing that. Anyone have any ideas? Jason, you have any idea who's causing that influx so they can start a sell off? Because if you notice lately that we are gaining in wallet holders, like we are at 1,497,000. Well, I didn't update. You might want to update the screen there, Will. I'm your host, Will. Yeah, I'll update the screen. Okay. So yeah, we're at 1,497,431 wallet holders. Woo-wee! That's a lot. So we're gaining in wallet holders. We're reducing the circulating supply. Shouldn't we be going in the opposite direction of the marketplace? Well, here's the thing that's catching that people don't quite understand. There's a lot of people in the world that still don't understand SHIB. And I was listening to another podcaster. He says ICP. ICP is reducing their circulating supply. XRP is reducing their circulating supply. So that's Ripple. ICP is internet computing, AI. So if anyone knows, Babes, big shout out to Babes. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. It costs you nothing to hit the like button or the descending button. Either one. If you don't like the show, please feel free to tell me that there's something missing about the show that would help increase awareness. That would be a benefit to me and you. Constructive criticism is always welcomed. We're not here to just boost each other's egos, but we're also here to make sure that everybody understands what is actually going on. So there's a bunch of news articles, but those news articles that came out today are not worth, not worth the paper they're written on, just to be blunt. One of those articles was from the development team, which we won't get into because anything the development team have to say is going to be about their, well, we talked about this before. It's going to be about them. It's going to be about their new coins or their new platforms they're putting out. I think there's one that's called Chill and Shill. I don't know what the hell that's all about anyway. But yeah, 162 trillion SHIB. Can you imagine this? 162 trillion SHIB is forcing SHIB down right now so that you sell off. It starts a panic sell so people will sell out of their coins so they can buy them. Now, does that make any sense at all? And nobody knows where they're putting their money to buy your SHIB. So it could be at this level, it could be at the next level under. I know that tomorrow is sell off Sunday. Every Sunday we have a sell off. Monday we also had a sell off though, right? And it did drop. I believe was around 5 or 6%. And we're right around that screen time now of that exact moment. Um, and for anyone that is interested, if you're this is why we tell everybody use SHIB as lottery, because it gives you an opportunity to buy more when it dips. And would we buy more here? Probably not. We would wait for maybe 15, 16, or see if it go down to 14 before before trying to swallow up some more, because you don't want to. It really doesn't matter. It's a lottery, right? So if it's a lottery ticket, it really doesn't matter when you buy it, as long as you are watching it, and you know that SHIB is always going to gain in value. It's been gaining in value. People just aren't aware. Just not a lot of people know about it. If they did know about it, SHIB would stop its tracks. It wouldn't be anybody selling anything. It would be like the new what is it called? ICOs. Okay. So instead of an IPO, ICO is money that's put into a project before it goes live. Makes sense? So if SHIB did that all the time and someone tried to drive it down, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't go down. It would just stay stagnant until that ceiling was broken. But it doesn't happen. Therefore, there's not a lot of people that know about it. And if you're looking at other coins that reduce the circulating supply so that they look like they're deflationary, I strongly suggest to look at financial institutions from around the world that have been with the marketplaces for a very long time on the stock exchanges, not cryptocurrencies. Just look at them. So you want to do due diligence, because those financial institutions actually have bearing because they have regulation. With cryptocurrencies, there's no regulation, so that's the other problem. Okay, so anytime that these companies fall short on expectations on what they can achieve in a month or the 3 months time, what's going to happen with them? Well, they're not going to tell you anything because they don't have to. But if you're on the stock market and stockbrokers, every 3 months they have to put out a statement how they did, and it's based on what they put forth. So they're meeting up with the regulations that they had set forth. Because sometimes, if you noticed, certain companies, big companies, not small companies, not companies just starting out, because companies that are just starting out, they want that transparency. They want that transparency to come through for their clients. With cryptocurrencies, they don't have to. So at any time they fall short, and they will, it's a guarantee that they're going to fall short, guys. They don't always make money. Hey, big shout out to you. Big shout out to everybody that comes in. Massive shout out to Prince. Massive shout out to, like I said, Jason M, Ethan M, Leah, Gabriel. Big shout out to you guys for coming in. We're trying to increase the amount of awareness. That's what this is all about, right? So this is what this educational platform is all about, is to increase that awareness. Yeah, big shout out to you, Rowena. Woohoo! Excellent, excellent, excellent. So anyway, there go Rowena. Big shout out. So what we're trying to talk about is what has been occurring with the marketplaces as of recently. We've saw this big sell-off. Everybody gets nervous around sell-offs, eh? Big shout out. Right on, Jason. Yeah. So anytime we have a major dip, everybody asks the same questions. Why are we in cryptocurrencies, right? Um, Not to dock any other, if you guys are into XRP or Cardano or any of those, but you have to remember that they have governance. Please remember that, and SHIB has zero. So SHIB is similar to Bitcoin. So they're not treated the same, if you noticed. Bitcoin is up 5 times their money. SHIB was up 5 times, but it's come down from that because I have no idea why. SHIB should have stayed roughly. It should have been an all-time high, really, right, guys. SHIB should have stayed at that six, around the 6.8, 6.9 area. And the only reason why it should have stayed there is because Bitcoin is still at 100,000, and it hasn't come down from that. But every time that we gain a little bit, everybody says it's based on Bitcoin. Don't believe a word they say. It's got nothing to do with one. Doesn't have nothing to do with the other. We're being forced down because somebody wants all of the SHIB they can get their hands on, and I'm pretty sure it's Robinhood and BlackRock. 99.9% sure that it was Robinhood and BlackRock. Now, why would they want to do that? Well, they want to steal the market share away from Ethereum is one reason. The other reason is that they know that bringing in more wallet holders, reducing the circulating supply, is a win-win situation for everybody. And that's the bottom line. And we reduced the circulating supply of SHIB. We just reduced, what was it, 1.1 billion SHIB within the last 3 days. So just before the end of the month, there was a billion SHIB removed from circulating supply. That's added value of $19,200 USDT to the whole SHIB community that they never, it never transpired. And I'm sorry for those. Yesterday, I had a party to run to, so I just did a short excerpt on the on the SHIB on SHIB. I did put out a little video on it. That video has got some errors in it, if you've noticed. It talks about the ecosystem. It also went into Shibarium, which has done very little. Well, it don't get me wrong, they did a lot for SHIB, right? They reduced a massive $356,000 worth of SHIB, so you can't say they did very little. They did a lot, right? How many people have done that? We want to do more. We want to absolutely crush it. We want to make sure that every single person on the planet has a chance to become multimillionaires, especially at these prices, right? You were able to buy it at these prices, and you were able to buy at 1 million SHIB for $17 or $18. That's a massive. And when it goes to $1, you have like literally $1 worth of SHIB means you have $1 million worth in your fiat currency. So that would mean a massive, massive account. Now, somebody says that in order for us to reach 589 trillion, we'd have to have a 589 trillion market cap to get to $1. Never mind $2, $3, $4, $5. It's amazing how they say this because SHIB is sitting at like the realistically point of it. We're sitting at 4 zeros, 17, 7. We're not being unrealistic. We're just being real. Okay. The whole point of it is by the time we get to $1, how much supply is actually left? And did anyone sell at that point? The people who used it like a lottery and only bought 1 million. No, they all have the same dream. They all have that same out. It's got to get over $1 before I get out. It's got to get over 50 cents before I get out because I bought $300 worth or $400 worth or $500 worth of SHIB. And then their out is at a smaller valuation. But for SHIB to get there right now, that would mean that everybody in the world started buying SHIB immediately. Can it happen? Absolutely. Will it happen? Is it happening? That's what you have to ask yourself. How fast is SHIB growing on a daily basis? How many new wallet holders are we accumulating every single day? Once this starts to climb 10,000, 20,000, then you can honestly say that we are on the cusp of a massive breakout. And that's the truth of it. So if you don't see those numbers, you're probably thinking, oh, well, we're not there yet. No, we're not there yet. Unless everybody started buying $500 worth or $1,000 worth. And that's possible. But most of them diversify because everybody was told them to diversify by other ICOs. Split your money. But the truth of the matter is that why would you buy something when you know nothing about, right? SHIB, you already know it. It's been around for 4 years. It has zero governance. It means that everybody that buys it is adding value. Everyone that every time you see a reduction, it's like giving money back in your pocket every time. So it's like basically just confirming. We like to call it solidifying. You're solidifying your position every time there's a burn. So every time there's a burn, you're solidifying your position. How do you mean? What do you mean by that? Well, it's guaranteeing you that you're making money. It may not reflect it in the price, but it's reflected in the value that's being added every single day. And there's one thing that no one gets, that SHIB cannot screw you. SHIB can't screw you. It's impossible for it to do that. You can screw you, but the SHIB can't mess with you. Okay, so nobody can rug pull you in SHIB because SHIB is owned by nobody. Okay, so they can't mint anymore. They can't. It doesn't reduce on its own. It needs the holders to reduce it. It needs the investors to reduce it. But I told you this before. Um, the holders will reduce it, but not in the sense that you're thinking it's going to reduce it. So, like Amazon links, the Amazon links on the website will reduce SHIB circulating supply. Absolutely. But you have to buy it. You have to use those links. A lot of people don't like using separate third-party links because they don't know where they go. This is why it's so hard to push people to actually ask them to do that, right? Because they don't know what I don't know what those links do, but those links are a formality so that you can help reduce the circulating supply because it's going to be stuff that you buy on Amazon anyway. So if you're buying it on Amazon, why not use those links? Well, because no, fearful. I'm fearful that those links will, incorporate into malware or Trojan horses, or because you know how it is right now. Everybody's scared to death over everything, like everything, especially with the internet. Um, Trusting links, other links, is very difficult for people. They even have trust in my links for the website that are just basically trying to educate people, which is, in my opinion, a sin, if you ask me. What else can we say about the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle? Um, we are here to make sure that everybody understands the difference between the different categories of the other cryptocurrencies and why SHIB is the best for you. One, affordability. You can't find the more secure coin that's got zero governance, that everybody's responsible for, everybody's part of a community, everybody's part of this network of people that are dedicated for the same reason. We're all in it together for the same reason, to make money. Every single one of them wants to make money. Well, how can you make money when it's going down? Well, you can make, the thing is, we're not in control of that, right? Others are manipulating it so that they're trying to drive it down to buy your SHIB from you. But they have to have it out too. Okay. At some point they're gonna want to get moving, because they're gonna get into a, if they keep doing this, what's gonna happen is it's gonna cause, and this is what we want. We want this, a bidding war between the exchanges, and the exchanges and the organizations are the ones that are going to burn SHIB because they're getting paid to do it. Corporations are getting paid to reduce SHIB circulating supply. Now, how do you mean by that? Okay, so for me and you, burning SHIB actually doesn't really do anything, because how much are we going to burn? 500,000 SHIB, 1,000 SHIB, 2,000 SHIB. It's not going to make much of a difference if me and you, and we tell everybody, hey, listen, let's burn 100,000 SHIB between all of us. That's going to make a difference. No, we don't want to do that, and we don't want to say that. We never want to say that to an individual, because that's your money. You earned it. Why do you want to reduce it, right? And besides that, the conglomerates are going to reduce it for you because they're getting paid by the government to do it. And that's the bottom line. It's not you and I, it's them. And are they going to be spending their money? Hell no. They're not spending their money to reduce SHIB circulating supply. That would make zero sense too, because they're sitting on enormous amounts of SHIB. They want to make as much money as humanly possible, just like everybody else. So why would they reduce it? Well, they're going to get paid to reduce it. So every time they reduce it, it costs them money. No, they what they do is they charge the person or the organization, whichever one is reducing it. What they're doing is they're reducing it, and then they get a kickback from the government for a tax deduction. When they do this tax deduction, because it's a loss, right? It's a capital loss. It could also be looked as a goodwill loss, even though that they told us that goodwill is when you sell property. Well, what's an investment capital loss? It's the same thing. It's a loss. You bought something for higher, you sold it for less. It's a loss. So when they lose it, they're able to write off a lot more. Now, when they use on the exchanges, it's even better because what happens is I'm charging you to use my platform. I take a portion of that money that you've used for fees, and I take a portion of that and I reduce SHIB circling supply. The government then looks at that as a loss and gives me tax credit. So therefore, I can write that off. I didn't even use my money. I used your money to do it. So, Jason, like when you buy SHIB, like if you went out today and you said, okay, you know what, I'm going to spend $5, $6 and on a lottery ticket instead of buying a lottery ticket, I'm going to buy more SHIB with it. Okay. The fee that's associated with that goes on Robinhood. They could turn around and say, okay, I'm going to take a portion of that I got from Jason and 5,000 others, and I'm going to put a portion of it, 10%, 20% of it, towards the reduction of SHIB circling supply. Now, is that their money? No. That would be the money they collected from you, but that's not their money. That's your money. But that's how they can do it. And then what happens is they get a kickback from the government. The government's going to give them a grant. Get a load of this. They apply for a grant to reduce the circulating supply of the fiat currency from Donald Trump or from anyone who's in Congress, okay, or what is it, the IRS, right? They give them a tax incentive program because they're reducing the circulating supply of US dollars in circulation. So they give them a grant. Get a load of this. A grant goes towards that organization to reduce the circulating supply of SHIB. No, it goes towards reducing the amount of fiat currency available to the rest of the world. Get a load of that. So when they reduce SHIB circulating supply with your credits, they can actually apply for a grant that's going to reduce the circulating supply of the fiat currency. That isn't their money. And then they could take half of it and then reduce it and then put the claim through that they lost that money investing it and lost all that currency that's not available anymore on the marketplaces. All of a sudden, you have a snowballing effect from each of the organizations doing the exact same thing. And why would they do that? Well, if they're sitting on 20 trillion SHIB of their money, they're sitting on 20 trillion of SHIB, that's their money. Isn't it in their best interest to reduce the circulating supply of SHIB? Absolutely. Crypto.com owns so much SHIB. Binance owns so much SHIB. Binance is actually the one who reduced SHIB circulating supply, by the way. Thank you very much for Binance. 1 billion SHIB. I was expecting 3 from them, but you can only get what you get. And they're just starting to roll over and find out that they can do this. So that's a massive shout out to them. And what's going to happen eventually is every single organization on the planet is going to do the exact same thing. And because it's non-governance and the ecosystem development team have kind of shined away from SHIB, it should open up avenues to a massive reduction in SHIB circulating supply. So that's what you have to look forward to in the future, near future. What hasn't happened, what should happen, is the drive for SHIB from everybody. But that's going to build as more and more reductions happen. So that's going to be a massive thing for everybody to take part in, and everybody will understand what is actually going on with the whole community. and that's what we're here for, is make sure that each and every one of you understand what's going on so that you can like bear and grin it. Well, no, it's just that we want to make sure that you are educated in finding out what's going on. Like I said, if your 162 trillion SHIB is being used to push down SHIB so that they get a chance, it's a good thing, because anytime Ethereum can jump in and buy out and start buying SHIB, and they got 162 trillion. See, this is the thing with ceilings. If there's a bidding war for SHIB, it's going to be someone's going to get liquidated, and it's going to happen very quickly and very fast, and without even thinking about it. Because I know Vladimir Buterin and the Ethereum don't want to lose market share to anybody, so they could buy it at a very low cost. So just be prepared for that to happen. I don't know which cryptocurrency will do it, but it would have to be something massive. One of the big exchanges. Now, Binance could do it. And if Binance does it, that is going to be a massive pull to Robinhood, and they'll get stuck with owning only a few SHIB, and that will be their own fault. Um, just saying, that's usually the way it works. I don't know who else has that kind of pull for 162 trillion SHIB. That's a massive amount of SHIB. Like, that's almost half the supply, just in a few wallets, right? So, yeah. And if Ethereum wanted to buy it back, or let's see who else could buy it back. There's a few of them that could easily get back in here. Coin Exchange. Hold on a second. Coinbase. Coinbase wants to. They could get in. OKX. Daily volume, weekly volume. Binance is still number one. 16 billion. Bybit could do it. You got $5.3 billion worth. Okay, here, let me share the link, right? This is what I'm talking about. It would be pretty much the top 50 exchanges in the world that could do it. So we'll do the count from 50. So LAT token. LA token. How's that sound? LA token. 1.3 million. Ooh, that's really low. Who's in the billions? Not saying that they can't. It's just that they'll have a harder time trying to raise the capital for it. Whitebit, it's number 48. Trading volume, 1.6 billion. Yeah, so they could. 521 million. See what I'm saying? It's like if you go down the list, the further you go down, the lower the price. Say TapBit 1.29 billion, 300 million, 310 million from HiBit, TapBit 1.2 billion, 2 billion, Phoenix 1.6 from BavioX. They could do it. OrangeX could do it. Fame EX could do it. Bitfinance or Byfinance, 3 billion. Digifinex, 1.3 billion. They could do it fairly easily, guys. It would only take a few days for them to accumulate enough wealth to start making some havoc on where we could go with SHIB. So, anyone have any questions, concerns? Have I addressed all your concerns or your expectations? We did do a little bit of research today, but found out that it's not worth talking about. Majority of what is going on with SHIB is from the SHIB ecosystem development team with their news, which I don't like covering because it has nothing to do with SHIB. SHIB is on its own, right? So we all agree on that. Everybody know that SHIB is on its own. SHIB doesn't have any governance, so that means that there's no wages. Period. There's no wages. There's no one covering SHIB. The only ones covering SHIB are you and I. So if we're covering SHIB, and that's all we cover because that's all it's worth out there, is we only care about one thing: making money. Guaranteed to make you money is reducing the circulating supply and increasing demand. Those are the two things that you need to drive any organization on the planet. If you have both of them, you are extremely lucky because it never happens. And that's why everybody's so on the fence about it, because it never happens. So are we in good times? We are in the best of times. Will this happen tomorrow? We can only assume that it won't happen tomorrow, but it could happen next week or the week after. We don't know exactly when this is going to explode. We just know it is going to explode. And then, are you in the best position you can to prepare yourself for that explosion? That's the whole point. And that's what we're trying to get at. Yeah, so when you're looking at these cryptocurrencies, exchanges, those are the ones that are going to reducing SHIB circulating supply. Now, are others going to come in here and reduce circulating supply? Absolutely. But we're competing with XRP, Cardano, um, ICP, which I don't think we are competing with. How low can it go? Well, okay, Jason. That depends on a couple of factors. How low can Bitcoin go? Because we follow Big Daddy Bitcoin, unfortunately. Majority of the people still are not educated in SHIB, as you know, Jason. If you were educated in SHIB, would you ever sell your position at this level? Like, you can answer that yourself, right? Would I ever sell at this position? Not a chance, right? Not a chance. It's too risky to sell it. You're betting. This is what you're betting on. Everybody, stop what you're doing. What are you betting on? I'm betting on that no one is going to find out about SHIB. That's what you're betting on. All these people who aren't educated in SHIB are selling it. And they're selling it at a discount. And it's not just a little discount, it's a massive discount. Because you have to ask yourself, how much would I sell my SHIB for? Buy, not sell. Right. Right. Exactly. But you got to understand that, right? From your point of view, is what do you value your SHIB at? It's nowhere near this level. It's insanity to put a guaranteed. Let's put it this way: it's a guaranteed investment. You're selling it. You're selling your guaranteed investment for pennies on the glass. Like, not even pennies, hundreds of thousands of cents less than where it's valued. Like, you have to be insane, right? That's why you know people aren't educated. If they were educated, there's no way they would be looking at this going, it's being manipulated. Exactly. You know it's being manipulated. Every time it takes a drop down, it's being manipulated lower. So if there's 162 trillion SHIB trying to put a ceiling in, you know for a fact that somebody eventually is going to break that ceiling. And they're going to buy it all and leave you with nothing. The person trying to sell it is going to get left with nothing. And that's the risk they pull for putting a ceiling on there. But it's worth it to them. Well, they're looking at this, they're looking at the charts. Well, you can look at the charts all you want. It's a guaranteed investment. When you have a guaranteed investment, what does that mean? It's got what going for it? In order to be a guaranteed investment, it has to have less supply and higher demand. That's a guarantee. You never see it ever one side or the other side. It's always going to have one or the other. It won't have both. But you have it with SHIB. And it's the only currency available to you that does it. There's no other currency available that does it. Even Bitcoin, and it has limited supply and more demand. Right, exactly. It has, but it doesn't have both. SHIB's got reduction going for it. The price is absolutely insanity at 17, 16, 15, 14. How low can it go? We don't know. It could go until somebody says, wait a second, isn't SHIB undervalued? Or a country trying to manipulate it right now? We don't know. Trying to drive it down. But you know for a fact, if it's that many SHIB, somebody is definitely going to be watching the back door trying to buy it. And I'm probably going to go on a limb here and speculate. Just so everybody understand what speculation means. It means I have no clue, but I'm going to voice my opinion. I'm going to think that it's Vladik Buterin and Ethereum that is going to drive SHIB because they're the ones losing the market share. So driving it down 1.6 trillion, 162 trillion, and if it's Robinhood, they're going to get liquidated. If it's Binance, they're about to get liquidated, and Binance will get really upset if it's them that's trying to do it or Crypto.com trying to do it. They're going to get really upset because they just gave it to whichever exchange is trying to buy it, and that's a fact. No one that's what they're trying to do is try to drive it down so they can buy more, not lose more. And that's exactly what would happen if they're trying to do that. So they're taking a massive risk too. So that's and when you have influx, that's what that influx is all about, Jason. So how low can we go? It really uh, depends on a few factors. How much are they willing to risk? 162 trillion at let's say 19. Well, that's just over 11 billion dollar market cap, or just at that $10 billion market cap. That's very risky, and they could lose their shirt, like literally lose their shirt. And then you're part because you're on Robinhood, right? You're part of that, so then they would have to deal with Ethereum gas fees, so their fees would go up. So to do your transactions, you'll notice it right away if they're the ones shorting it, because your fees will all of a sudden go to percentages. Not it'll have nothing to do with the lower the fee kind of thing. You'll know it right away because if it's Vlad Buterin and Ethereum, their fees are way higher than Robinhood's fees. And that's a fact. So you got Binance. If they're doing it too to compete with BlackRock, I don't know who would want to be talking to BlackRock because they're so shady. Uh, and they, but people like money, right? Follow the money. But the problem is that if you follow the money too far, you start to realize you're the one getting, basically gung hoed, because what they did was, oh, I'm not selling, and then they start selling it, and then they leave you with all of it. But that's nor here nor there. It's too cheap. SHIB is way too cheap, and it's following the markets is nonsense. It's following Bitcoin. If it was following Bitcoin, SHIB would still be at that 406 something, because Bitcoin's at 5 times its earnings, 5 times where it started. Right, it started around 18,000, and now it's at 100,000. So you do the math. That's like 5.5 times its money. So for it to drop every time we hear this, oh, SHIB is following Bitcoin, the whole market's following Bitcoin. That's nonsense. It's nonsense. SHIB should never follow anybody, really. Like in theory, SHIB shouldn't be following anybody. SHIB is the only one out there that's reducing its circulating supply all the time, like constantly reducing its circulating supply. So then why are we selling off? Exactly. People aren't educated. That's what you gotta start using your thinking, right? This is what's happening. They're not thinking. So it gives me an opportunity to buy more. Just use it like a lottery ticket, like you said. Buy 1 million SHIB at a time, or whatever you're going to spend in lottery tickets. Eventually, you're going to get rewarded, and you're going to get rewarded 100 times more than where it's sitting right now. Absolutely, because it's not going to take long before people realize it. They've already started to realize it because we're gaining more people coming into SHIB than we're losing. And how do you know that? I just showed you where that's happening. People are our catalyst. for SHIB. The amount of wallet holders we got coming in are our catalyst. Makes sense to everybody? So those are the ones that are giving us the capability of going further, longer, and further with SHIB. Will SHIB get to $1,000 someday? Yeah, but it won't be tomorrow. Will it get to $10,000? Eventually, but not tomorrow. When could I possibly see that? Well, I tell you right now, we would make that happen as part of the 50-50 raffle. But again, people have to take part in the raffle in order for that to happen. So it would happen 1,000 times faster than anything that's put on the marketplace. But once it starts to snowball, it will exponentially grow. And everybody gets wealthy. Every single person would get wealthy. From here, I'm guaranteeing you that 3 million people, if you got in right now or within the next little while, and you were able to buy at least 1 million SHIB, that you would be pretty much set for life. And that's under the understanding that you wouldn't have to sell all your SHIB to do it. Because the last thing we want to do is, like I told Jason, like I told everybody, like everybody in the room, everybody who comes in, you don't have to sell it all. Because your currency that you're selling it for isn't worth the paper it's written on. Okay, they're so far in debt that eventually they're going to have to come full circle and pick a currency that's actually reducing its circulating supply on a daily basis or roughly a basis that they can start to reduce their debt. It's amazing. I was talking about this before. Hey, Jason, we talked about this before. Okay, about we as a society have no problem with going into debt. Like we look at the US dollar, we're like, oh, the GDP is at $28 trillion and we have a deficit of 36 trillion. We have no problem with that. We Our dollar is better than most of the currencies out there. Is it? You're at the highest debt ratio in the world and you're okay with that. Well, yeah, because our dollar is worth so much money to the rest of the world. Yeah, but if anything ever happened to the world currency or the world bank, it could all collapse underneath you, like literally collapse because of the amount of debt that you're in. And those countries, if they can't afford to keep it up, they could call your marker and you don't have enough money to pay them. And then what happens to your currency? Exactly, it slides into an abyss because there's no money. There's literally no money. You have way more money printed than you know what to do with because you borrowed all this money. And then those countries fall victim because they start getting their markers called. Well, then their markers get called, and then the next marker gets called, and then so forth and so on. And then the US is looking at going, I can't pay you. I don't have the money to pay you. Well, you can just talk to Congress, they'll print more money. It doesn't work that way. We're so far in debt. I can't afford to go another $10 trillion in debt because I got to pay these markers back just to offset the collapse of the world economy. It just doesn't happen. It will just never but we have no problem with that. That's the thing I don't understand. But someone says we're reducing SHIB circulating supply to add value to the currency, and they don't understand that. They it just baffles them. They go, no, 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 no. You can't do that. That's wrong. That's evil. Are you ridiculous or what? You would rather go into debt than have no debt at all. What? Oh, that's what you're saying. So it would be okay to go and get 9 houses built, even though you can't afford the first one. But it's okay to go into more debt because, well, that's what we do. And you have no problem with that. Instead of being debt free, you're okay to go into more debt. You're willing to take on another $10 million worth of debt, even though you can't afford the first 500,000. Does that make sense? Do you understand what a guaranteed investment is? Some people say your house is a guaranteed investment. Your house isn't the investment, but that's what people think. It's the land that the house sits on that's the guaranteed investment. And why is the land valued so high? Because they're not making any more of it. It's like Superman and Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor said. They're not making any more of it, so people will pay through the nose to get it. That's exactly it. But it's not the house; it's the land that it sits on. The house is just for taxation purposes, so the government can charge you more in taxation, and then tell you the value of your land and the house that you've built on it. But if you don't upkeep the house falls apart. The land is still worth X amount of dollars, and that's the truth of it because it's they're not making any more of it. It's true. The question I have is, if your house is worth so much money, how come we're not all invested into real estate, right? One, cost, the debt load that you'd have to go into for your house, and then pay off a bit of it, and then get another house. Use the equity from that house to buy another house, and then so forth and so on. So eventually, it becomes like a speed bump. So you build more houses, or no, you don't build. You buy more houses. You fix them up. You rent them out. Now you get a couple bad renters. You're basically hooped, especially in your first 5 years of owning it. So that's why it's very risky, and it's not for everybody. Same thing with cryptocurrency. No, 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 no. You find a cryptocurrency that you like, and then you tell me why you like it, or you tell yourself why you like it, and then you explain to yourself, you convince yourself this is the best investment for my dollar. Well, this is SHIB. No governance whatsoever. Zero. No wages to hand out. No bad decisions. You got a supply that's reducing. You got people coming into it all the time. It's a win-win situation. That's what the SHIB 50/50 raffle was all about. You got money coming in, money going out. You got burns going on, so the amount of money that's being won is being burned. Exactly. So what's that doing? It's driving up what? Demand, 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 which is our catalyst for SHIB. The utility is the reduction in SHIB circulating supply. So if anyone asks, SHIB doesn't have a catalyst. It does. It has people. People are the catalyst for SHIB. Well, what's the utility? The utility is actually so massive that people miss it every single time. They miss out. They miss it completely. 1 billion SHIB was just reduced. 1 billion, $19,200 was given back to you. If we looked at the last 24 hours, you've had over $22,000 given to you to solidify your position in SHIB, saying this is why you're in SHIB in the first place, is because you are actually making money even though it's going down in value. In value? No, in price, not value. Value is being added because we have more holders and we have less supply. More holders, less supply. The value has skyrocketed, but the price has not followed it. And it's not our fault. We own it. We wouldn't sell at these levels. It's somebody else that's selling at these levels. It's people that are uneducated. They get scared. They need to sell it. They're afraid. They need to sell it. What do? We're looking at buying it. But we are smart. We don't buy, we don't go in there and buy it all. We go in there and take a little piece of the pie off the table. Nitpick at it, right? So use your common sense. Someone said to me, or not someone said, another uh, another influencer was on and started talking to Money 247. I don't know who this character is, but he wanted everybody to buy Bitcoin. He was like, so I'm like, Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin is $100,000 US right now. How many of us have $100,000 that we can put into Bitcoin? Raise your hand. Anybody? Anybody at all? 100,000. Now, what is the maximum that you could see out of that? 3 times your money from there. 3 times. Wow, that's a lot, right? That's 300,000. Okay, I said, and this was when SHIB was at roughly around 1900. Okay, Excellent, right? No problem. So at 57, 4057, we've tripled our money. 3 times our money in SHIB. Now, if I were to buy Bitcoin for the same price that I spent on SHIB, what is the likelihood that I'm going to get it to 300,000 so I can get 3 times my money? How long will it take me to get there? SHIB can do it. SHIB's undervalued, guys. It's undervalued. Ladies and gentlemen, SHIB is undervalued by a wide margin. And how do you know that? Well, we have more people holding it, and we have less supply than we had yesterday. So we have less supply, greater demand, because we're getting more wallet holders buying it, and the price is going down. It just means that the person selling it doesn't have a clue on what they're selling. They don't know what they're holding. And they're probably looking at the next biggest thing that they think is going to make them money. And that could be any number of ICOs. But you got to remember how many coins are on the market right now and how many of them are worth anything. If you looked at the Trump coin, okay, let's go look at the currencies. Let's go look at our currencies and go from there. We'll do the Bitcoin's at 100,000. Ethereum is at 3,157.99. XRP is at $2.95. Solana is at 218.22. BNB is at 662. Dogecoin is at 31 cents. Cardano is at 90 cents. Tron is at 24 cents. Chainlink is at 23.21. Avalanche is at 32.50. Stellar XLM is at 40 cents. SUI is at $3.83. Toncoin is at $4.67. HBAR is at 29 cents. And SHIB right now is at 17.92, which is extremely undervalued, in my opinion. I don't know what your opinion is, but in my opinion, it's extremely undervalued. And the reason why that is all you have to do is look at what we are doing. Right, Jason? Like when we started talking about SHIB a while back in October, back in November, back in December, how many wallet holders were there? We're looking at 5,000 wallet holders more than we have now. That's right, Jason. 5,000 wallet holders more than we had back in November. Maybe more. Maybe it's 10,000 more than we had back then. We're less than 3,000 away from 1.5 million wallet holders. So, give you an idea, right? When we start seeing SHIB getting about 10 to 15,000 wallet holders a day, where you can start seeing some differences being done. Now, how much of a difference? Well, I'm going to put it on a limb here and say maybe about less than 1% in gains. But you're going to start to see what? Stability. So you're going to be able to see that margin start to shrink a little bit. Instead of having everybody selling and buying in that 1/millionth of a cent or 1/10 millionth of a cent in flux, which is like $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 worth of SHIB being transferred back and forth, you're going to start to see that slow down. You're not going to see those influxes anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's between the spreads is basically what happens. People are buying and selling so fast. If you looked at them on Binance or BTCC, you would see that SHIB is actually being traded extremely quickly. Like, it's amazing. Well, if I can do that here. See if I can go to BTCC. Hold on to your White Sox. Let's get going. Yeah, BTC is at 103.67. See, SHIB should be at 19.20 right now. It should be moving like 3 times more than BTC. That's, yeah. Yes, see, 4 zeros, 17866. I'm going to share this link with everybody, with you too, Jason. See if you can see what the differences is. Yeah. Okay, so what we're looking for, I'll show you right here. What we're looking for is right here. How much is the spread between here and here? Like, what are we talking here? And you're watching how much? 5.47 trillion in market and volume. That's how much SHIB is being transferred. And it's between, like, literally, and then how many millions is this? So the high was 17,936 and the low is 17,518. And right now it's trading in between those two. And we've traded 5.5 trillion SHIB in that range. Now, what's going to happen once we get more wallet holders? All of a sudden, there's not going to be this huge volume. It's going to be slots smaller, like I'm guessing in the billions. If it's going to continue in this range, this is going to be in the billions. Now, we know that's not going to happen, right? Because so you're going to get bigger swings one way or the other way. You're going to get bigger swings. So when this starts to climb, because you have less supply and greater demand, what happens is you're still going to have less supply. Because as more wallet holders come in and start realizing what it's worth, that's when you start to realize just how far it's going to change the prospectus on it. Now, we did do a death cross. We got this W formation. This should have, once you see a W formation, it's usually a positive sign. When we see a negative pullback, that's a negative correlation. Okay. And then it goes to the next support line. So let's go. So the support line is here. We just hit it. If we don't stay above this support line, we'll hit it lower, according to the chart. But what do we know about charts, Jason? When you're talking about a guaranteed investment, it's non-existent. At any time, SHIB can explode. At any time, it can explode to either way. No, SHIB can only explode one way. It only has one direction, and that's a fact, guys. It only has one direction. It is straight up. It's just that people aren't educated. If they were educated, SHIB would never ever sell off this low. But they're not educated. People just are not getting it. And when they get into a panic sell, they sell like a mad dog. But that also gives opportunity for those that know what's going on. They know that SHIB is being forced down. But it's being forced down because somebody else wants it for nothing. And BlackRock is noted for that. Okay? Just so everybody gets this understanding. I talked about this before, Jason. I don't know if you remember it or not. What happened with Bitcoin. Right? 3 times Gary Gensler makes a statement and BTC sold off. Robinhood was right there. No, BlackRock was right there to buy it up on every single dip. Bitcoin has no market for SHIB. SHIB is its own entity. No one knows about it. Trust me, if they did know about it, it wouldn't be where it is right now. There's not a chance that SHIB would be anywhere near this. SHIB would be on fire all the time. It would only know one direction, straight up. Now, would it mean God candles all the time? No. Everything has to balance out. Everybody has a different out. And some people will, even though they're educated, will still be like, oh, I can pay off this, I can pay off that with my money. And I hope they are doing that because that's what it's there for. But you have to be smart about it. You have to be smart about it. You have to start thinking ahead of the game. What do I need to sell not to pay taxes? Because I don't want to pay the tax man. I want to reduce SHIB circulating supply with the taxes I would have to pay. So then what happens is it benefits the whole community of SHIB? Absolutely, as you reduce it. But you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you. You're just on, if you wanted to give to the government, absolutely give it to the government. But you don't have to. So why would you if you don't have to? Because they're still spending money, no matter how you look at it. Um, I will say this: we did have Trump on today talking about the payouts. What um, if anyone's watching? Which I have, what, 4 people watching right now? Okay, we're going to talk about Trump. Trump offered Congress or people that are in that are working from home uh, a sellout or a buyout a package, 8 months severance for them to step down immediately. So there's your news for the night, guys. There's your Trump news for the night. Now, is that a fair deal? No, it's not a fair deal. Fair deal would be 2 year severance. That's what you're entitled to. That's what everybody's entitled to. 2 year severance. But here's the kicker that everybody doesn't know. If you don't come back to the office, we abolish your position in 3 months. So either you want to come back to the office and work, or you're going to be take the package. So basically, he's giving an ultimatum on on, and he's going to save billions of dollars over the long run. And then what's going to happen is they're going to get some people in there. They're going to do accountability, and then find out who or what has got too much red tape. So that because governments are all about red tape. Instead of giving you higher wages, what they do is they give you a promotion so that you get a bigger title, so that you make it feel like you're more important. That's how governments run. So they don't give you any more money. What they do is they give you a different title, and then with the title they get more money. But once you get there, you got to get another title. You have to move up in order to get another wage increase. So if you don't move up, you don't get a wage increase. Make sense? That's the way all governments are run, and that's pathetic because when you think about it, that all it does is create bogus job, job headings for people who want to make more money. So as long as you can come up with a new strategy on how to make uh, your theme work and create a job for yourself doing it, then you increase the amount that you're going to make based on that assumption. So that's just the way governments work. Anyway, that's getting on to a different topic, but that was news for everybody that Trump did come out with the amount. We did have the Federal Reserve talk about uh, interest rates. They didn't reduce, so that kind of spooked the market. Um, but the U.S. economy isn't doing as good as what they think it is. Trump's trying to do certain things that's going to help it. Yes, they're going to hire a lot more people because of the forest fires and, of course, the hurricanes that decimated Florida and part of Louisiana. Well, not Louisiana, but yeah. Which county was that just got decimated? Well, lower Florida, lower mainland Florida, up through, they got just thousands of hectares destroyed, right, and washed out rivers and and homesteads. And same thing with California with the forest fires. The forest fires are now under control. We did have the two planes that went down. One of them was an emergency vehicle. They're not sure of the people that are involved. They believe it's only 6 people or 7 people who have perished in the last plane incident, and the one that happened in Reagan Airport. That one is travesty in itself, and our hearts and our prayers go to the families of those affected by it. Absolutely. So, without further ado, we're going to call it a night, guys, and say thank you so much for coming. I hope this has been intuitive. I hope that you got something out of it. Um, Thanks, Jason, for sharing. Like always, I hope you're doing really well. I hope you're improving your health, and we're trying to improve your wealth here at the channel. And we're trying to get the SHIB 50/50 raffle going, off and going, so that we can make you extremely happy next year, because I figure we'll only have 2 years after the raffle starts, 2.5 years to 3 years before we'll have to shut it down. We'll be at that 35 pounds per SHIB range, or we'll be at the 2 billion or under 2 billion SHIB in circulating supply, which would be massive. And then you'll see. We don't need the raffle. I know people will probably beg me to stay, but I don't think we'd have to do any more with the raffle. I think that by that time the adoption has taken place, and you can be able to use SHIB just like a debit card. Either it'll be on Robinhood, or it'll be on some other exchange, or it'll be on a new exchange that deals with a central bank like Bank of America or um, Fidelity. Fidelity would be a good bank. Bank of America might be okay. A World Bank, you can even use it as a World Bank. Or you're going to use it like gold and then just leverage it. Either way, you're going to be able to buy whatever the hell you want, do whatever you want, go wherever you want. And that's that financial freedom. If everybody started to get into it, like today or tomorrow or the next day, you would start to see a massive increase in SHIB in the price. Absolutely. 1 to 2 million people per day getting into SHIB would offset it would set a precedent for every exchange on the marketplace, because they would start to see that nobody is selling it, that everybody's trying to buy it. And that would cause an influx, because the only ones being able to sell it at that point would be the exchanges, and the exchanges only have a certain amount of supply. And they're not very smart, because the only ones that are smart are Robinhood, BlackRock, Binance, Crypto.com, OKX, and even Gate.io doesn't have enough SHIB on their own to solidify their positions. They would have to start buying massive amounts of it. That's what we were saying before. Each of the exchanges would have to start buying it in a massive quantity to make sure that they solidify themselves. What I don't understand is XRP hasn't bought that much SHIB. Cardano hasn't bought that much SHIB. Crow hasn't bought that much SHIB, even though Crow is part of Crypto.com. They haven't sunk their teeth into it and spread that infinite correlation between the two of them. Have not put enough effort into owning SHIB to make that much of a difference. Crypto.com does own a lot of SHIB, around 90 trillion, which is no small feat. But yeah. So without further ado, we're going to call it a night, guys. We're going to rock yous out and enjoy the night. And God bless each and every one of you. Jesus loves you. We're trying to build a family to provide you with extreme wealth and knowledge, so that you understand what SHIB's all about and what SHIB can do for you. Even though it's a dog, it was started off as a dog meme coin, long time ago. I never refer to it as a meme coin because it really isn't. Um, bye. Bye, babes. Yeah, big shout out to everybody. Thanks a lot for coming. And we're going to rock you out. Rock you. We will rock you. Evening. Hopefully, we see some new light in SHIB. We should see. Look at these red candles here. Wow. That's simply amazing why people would sell off something that gains in value every single day. Remember, we gain more holders than we lose on a daily basis. No, on a weekly basis, we can stay on a weekly basis. We're constantly gaining new wallet holders. So that's a very positive sign, like extremely positive, extremely enormous, gargantuan potential. No, it's potential is something that you wish for. This is not potential. This is going to have astronomical effects on your wealth as going forward. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. Woo! Big shout out to Jason Cox. Big shout out to Babe Shout. Big shout out to Wena. Big shout out to Rowena. Big shout out to Prince. Big shout out to Leia. Gabriel, thanks for coming, everybody. Have a great, wonderful evening. Big shout out to Jason M. Big shout out to Ethan M. Big shout out to Casey, Young, Tintin, Kate. Big shout out to Novi, Leia, Trisha. Thanks everybody for coming. Have a great night. We're gonna do the count. Fuck you.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good night. God bless. Take care. Peace out, everyone. Till the next time. Till tomorrow. Same time, different channel. All right.